Hey, true believers, Englentine here. Hello, Maranya. What's up? Do we have to clap to save Tinkerbell? Well, funny you should say that. Tinkerbell's not the one that needs saving this time. And before we go into this too much, we're going to be talking about Peter Pan and Wendy. Yes, Wendy gets top billing with Peter Pan this time. It's not just all about him, which is funny. For the
Which,
first time
whenever
ever.
was it, to be fair? Like, it's always...
No. For the first time ever, this is Peter Pan's story. Because if you actually read the book, if you check it out, it's all about Wendy and her struggles with growing up. That's what
Peter
Pan
is never the point of view character. He's always the MacGuffin.
This one, however, actually does make it Peter Pan's movie, or at least I got to say they do a good job in balancing the two out. So you get both Wendy and Peter Pan's point of view on this, which I am kind of surprised at. So before we go into this, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Okay, I've lost weight, and I'm just kidding.
So you're no longer the elephant in the room, but I'm changed.
There was a whole thing. Of course, I even talked about it myself. Did you tag me, you son of a feather? Okay, there was a whole thing about a black actress playing Tinkerbell instead of a blonde one, like we're all used to. And then, of course, Girls and the Lost Boys. That's it. There is no woke in this, except for maybe making Wendy a point of view character as well as Peter Pan, which, in all honesty, they made Peter Pan the point of view character, which they had never done before. It's kind of like people saying, well, Mary Poppins is about a magical nanny. No, it isn't. It's about a man who's reconnecting with his family. If you watch Who Changes and Does so on and so forth.
Mary is the MacGuffin in the same way as in Aladdin.
Okay,
it's the genie that's the magical MacGuffin and that changes Aladdin's life and so on.
So we get the line. Everybody saw it, got pissed off about it, including me. Okay, she goes up. Lost boys, but you're not all boys. And the girl goes, so? And that's all we saw in the preview. In the movie, she goes, well, yeah, I guess it doesn't matter. And then the movie spends the next hour and 20 minutes proving to you that, in fact, it does not matter.
Except, of course, words mean things and all, but, whatever.
Yeah, if it was lost children, yes, but that, I think, definitely has a darker connotation than just lost boys. Lost boys can mean can actually mean not just physically lost, but you lose your way, which is kind of a message and a lesson learned from Peter Pan. Okay, so it's kind of weird to go over story beats of Peter Pan. But then again, I don't know if everybody else is familiar as I am. I love the movie. I've loved damn near every movie of Peter Pan that I've ever seen, except the Hugh Jackman film.
Oh, God.
That was Suck City from beginning to end.
God, that thing. I just, why? Also, didn't they make that a jukebox musical? And also, why? It's just,
I think at one point in time, Hugh Jackman is singing "Here We Are Now, Entertain Us," and I'm like, okay,
I don't.
It doesn't even fit the point where he's singing it. That Peter Pan was horrible, but I've read the book.
This is better than that one by leaps and bounds.
I was a nerd, by the way, that went into the Walden books or Books a Million, whatever it was at the time, and they had this classical section. The books were always like $5. And I bought Robin Hood, and I bought the Odyssey and Peter Pan and all these classics, Frankenstein. Some of them I just found were boring as let me watch the movie, but some were pretty good. And Peter Pan I had always loved. So I don't know how much story we need to go into. Peter Pan is a storybook character that Wendy's mother tells her stories of all the time. She sometimes passes them down to her brothers. We find out that Peter Pan has been listening in, shows up one time because a shadow gets away.
Turns out he exists. Neverland also exists.
And they go off to Neverland where we find out that there's a whole bunch of lost boys who don't want to grow up, and they're fighting pirates. This one, I don't know where to start on this. Seriously. Because I said they're fighting pirates, and I really want to say they handled it perfectly, because not a lot of Peter Pan films acknowledge the fact that the pirates are lost boys who grew up, who
Yeah,
could not
which,
stop
given the
themselves from.
mechanics of Neverland, doesn't really make much sense. But yeah, they kind of
Well,
explain
no,
it.
it's a mindset. Do you want to stay a kid like Peter Pan? He fights, by the way, to stay young. Um, and there are others who, like Wendy, realizes that yes, you indeed have to face responsibilities. You have to, you can't do this all the time. People are in danger, that kind of thing. And they really do play up the fact that the pirates are lost boys. And at points in time when they see childish things, they kind of melt, because they yearn for their childhood feelings. It really
The
is about
subplot with the subplot with the black pirate
the
wanting the
teddy
youngest
bear.
boy's
Yeah,
bear was adorable. Yeah,
I
it
love
was
that
adorable.
section. I love that part, because these are people who didn't want to grow up, but yet they had to. So it really is about that kind of thing, about realizing your responsibilities and such. Let's see. Hello to Joe. Wait, isn't Tinkerbell really jealous? Yes, she is. Here, not so
She
much.
wasn't here. Yeah.
No. Here, she wanted to be heard. People could not understand her. I love the language they gave to Tinkerbell. It was all bells.
Yeah, the little tinkling noises that apparently is fairy in this. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the fairy language. So when she's speaking, she's actually mouthing words. So if you're a lip reader, you can tell what she's saying. But what's coming out is like ding 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 ding, and yeah.
Although I'm a little bit confused, we haven't gotten any cancel Peter Pan articles from the usual suspects because they do that to a black actor.
Oh, that they.
That would be honestly, that would be funny if they
Yeah.
if they went out of their way to defend this movie, and then all of a sudden, wait, you mean you didn't give the black character any lines? Lol. Anyway,
Maranya saying
never
she
mind.
only saw the animated Peter Pan. Brilliant, my favorite. And Hook, which I think gets way too much hate.
Yeah, I don't get the hate for Hook. I also don't get the hate for the other live action Peter Pan, the one that came out in like 2003.
I've never heard anybody say anything bad about it. Like, if you were to point at a perfect live action version of Peter Pan, it is that.
That's what I think. But from what I've heard,
Ethereal.
Either people just don't remember that one, or they don't like it for some reason, and I don't get it.
It has fallen down the memory hole a little bit, but it really is a great representation. Okay, so what to talk about? I mean, it's something I'm finding blank spots on how to move forward with this one, because it's a story we all know. So I guess we just talk about not the elements of the story, but how they handled the
different things, and that's where I guess I didn't like this one very much, because
oh, you didn't like it at all. Like you just said you didn't like it very much. So this is a negative thing.
It's not a I hate this movie. It's just I don't feel like this movie's gonna matter in T-minus 5 minutes, and
okay, well, yeah,
like everything seemed cheap. I guess most of my problems with it are technical problems, where everything seemed dingy, even Neverland, and that was weird to me, because it's like this is supposed to be the realm of childhood fantasies, childhood dreams. So if anywhere in cinematography deserves color, you'd think it would be this. And there were a couple shots where I almost got that, like when they first got there and saw the mermaids.
The mermaid, yeah, I was just thinking that right away. It's like the mermaid scene was exactly what you're talking about. But everywhere else, you're right. But I think this is a sign of the times. I think there's this urge to make things photorealistic rather than fantastic. I mean, we're going to the movies, or in this case, you're staying home, you're watching it on Disney Plus. Yeah. But still, you're right. I totally agree with you on this one. It just wasn't the deal breaker for me that it was for you.
It to me, it made everything feel kind of cheap, and the acting was kind of the same way. I loved the actors who played Wendy, and I think Jude Law was trying, but I just don't like. Other than he's a name, and obviously, we want somebody in here to have top billing.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't get the impression he was really trying all that hard, and
Okay.
it made me feel bad because I kept thinking back and going, wait, they've already done a live action Peter Pan movie once. It was that one from 2003, and that one, as we were both just talking about, was perfect. Why,
Yep.
why this new one? Also, I felt like the writing was a little bit on the nose sometimes, like all the references to time and clocks and stuff. It was just like,
Well,
okay, yes,
that's
yes,
a Hook
movie,
thing,
I get it.
though.
Let's not belabor the point a little bit too much
That
here.
is Hook's story. So I didn't mind. I didn't mind that. Obviously, the clock, the crocodile with a clock in it that Captain Hook can hear
That didn't
is,
tick, which annoyed me to no end. It was like, how can you have
but
the ticking crocodile that doesn't tick? Damn
I
it!
know, right? They missed it. They missed the point on this. I told you I thought this movie was good, but it missed out on being great because it just didn't go far enough, in my opinion. They missed the ticking clock. The ticking clock in the alligator chasing Captain Hook obviously is his aging. He doesn't want
Mhm.
to age. He wants to be a lost boy again. He wants to frolic. He wants to do all this, but he's got responsibilities. And that's what it always stood for. In this one, the croc doesn't swallow the clock. The croc doesn't even show up, I think, later. It's just that one
It
scene,
shows
right?
up once
Yeah.
during the skull
The
rock
Skull Island bit.
scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even then, like you said, it's not ticking. So they kind of missed the metaphor on that one. And like I said, they got to go forward to bring up what you said. They got to go more extreme with the colors, more extreme with the cinema. Just make it look more vibrant,
It's
more
Neverland, for
amazing.
God's
Yeah.
sake. Yeah.
With me, at one point in time, of course, like I said, the pirates are lost boys. Peter Pan and James Hook, or he had a different name before, but Peter Pan and Captain Hook were friends when Captain Hook was a lost boy. And there was a certain point in time where Peter Pan ceased to be the hero. And you realize that maybe he's kind of a villain in this. And I think it's a perfectly, it is perfectly relative to the story for him to kind of be a villain, because he has an obsession with not growing up, to the point where he
He shuns
ostracizes.
anything that could potentially result in him growing
Right.
up at
Yeah.
all.
And he ostracizes and in James Hook's case excommunicates
Mhm.
those who decide they are going to grow up or just do out of nature. So
Mhm.
he actually becomes a bit of a villain because he doesn't embrace anybody, and he loses them, and it's just go away, go away, go away. And I dug that, but they didn't
They still
really
tried
steer
to
it.
make him redeemable at the end, and I didn't like that. Didn't make sense. Like if you're gonna go there and make Peter Pan the villain, which makes perfect sense because if you actually read the book, he is a little bit villainous in the
Mhm.
book. But
And
like if you're gonna go there, actually have somebody go there. Honestly, I was in this weird space for a good 20-minute section of the movie where I was actually on Hook's side more than I was on Peter's
well, yeah,
side.
it's that middle section where they're actually humanizing Hook by allowing the audience to know he was a lost
My
boy,
crime was that I
and
missed my mom. Is that so
he
bad?
missed his
Yeah.
mother, and by missing his mother, he wanted to leave Neverland and began to grow up, and that made Peter shun him and kick him out of the Lost Boys. So all of a sudden, like I said, Peter becomes the villain. Not that Hook becomes a hero, because he still is angry and wants revenge on Peter Pan. So
He's resentful
yeah,
for everything that's happened to him because of Peter's meddling.
and this I thought was a great storyline, and if they had pursued it, okay. But there was a certain point where it wasn't so much about, hey, I'm resentful towards Peter Pan, than it was, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna kill everybody, because I'm the villain. And it was like, it was such a heel turn, even for a
Like
villain. It was such a heel turn.
you almost had me, movie. I was
Yeah,
almost feeling something, and it's gone.
I think it's like the director, the script writer, or somebody went, wait a second, Peter Pan's the villain now. What are we gonna do? And then they just had him, screw it, let's kill people.
Just
Yeah,
go with it, man. That would have been my advice. I would have just been like, go with it.
Write
If
it out.
if you really want to play if you really want to play this, Peter is the villain card, go with it. It works, actually.
Yeah. And at the very least, keep going with that narrative. Okay, so earlier somebody said, "Did we have to clap for Tinkerbell?" No, there is a scene, and it's a pretty effective scene. By the way, should we just announce spoilers at this point? We've been
Yes,
speaking in vagaries.
here will be
We're
spoilers.
15 minutes
Go
in.
elsewhere if you don't want spoilers. Yeah.
Okay, there was a scene where Peter Pan discovers, or Captain Hook discovers Peter Pan's hideout. This happens in the original animated film. It happens in the story. He gives a bomb, boom. Yeah, but they do it differently here. The pirates show up, and Captain Hook goes upstairs to confront Peter Pan, and he even says, "You're hiding. You've always been best at hiding, but I've always been best at finding you." And he spins and slashes Peter across the chest, causing Peter to go, "I don't like this adventure," and then falling to his death. That's the "we need to clap" moment, except for they don't clap. This is where I was like, oh, Lord, no. Oh, Lord, no. Who are the
He's
spiritual
fine.
characters? Who are the spiritual characters they take him to? Because we don't want to have the what make a red man red. And what do you call it? I don't get it. Offensive way of portraying the Indians. No, this one, they'll bring your ass back to life. They are one with the earth and the world and the spiritual realm, that they could bring Peter Pan back to life. I was like, you didn't do that. No. But as a matter of fact, that was the one moment I actually thought it was going to go into wokeness, because Peter Pan goes and sees Hiawatha, and in the meantime, you get Wendy confronting the pirates, and I was like, no, they're not going to say she's Wendy the Pan or any kind. No. Thankfully, they didn't. There is no woke in this movie, except for the presence of a black Tinkerbell and girls.
And that one line.
Yeah.
For the trailer. Yeah.
That was it. That being said, I thought that the action scenes were fine. Dalton is 100% right. This should be a brighter, more colorful film. It wasn't. I really do like the interactions with the pirates. As much as you didn't like Jude Law, I kind of did. But I get what you're saying. I would almost think, though, that the problem isn't so much with Jude Law, is that what's his character? Is he evil? Is he a sympathetic evil? Is he they really were up and down to, I could understand why.
It feels like there was half a story going on that the writers and director were actually interested in telling. And then Disney came in and went, but you have to finish the story exactly the way it finished in the other one. So abandon that last 20 minutes we spent humanizing Hook and kind of demonizing Peter.
Yeah, and yet at the end, hello, old friend, how are you? It's like, okay, you defeated Hook, he's gone, you took his ship, and at the end, Peter has an opportunity, or you're gonna stay over here with the darlings and such, and no, the next scene, he's flying a ship over, and you see Jim Gaffigan as Smee, and
pick a lane, guys. Pick a lane.
Yeah, it's okay, and they're greeting each other like old friends, not like, I'm back, you some bitch, I'm gonna take you out. No, just like 5 seconds ago, the last thing we saw was them trying to kill each other. Now they're smiling each other. Unless they realize that their friendship is no longer, hey, buddy, you want to go see a movie? Instead, it's, hey, who's going to kill each other next? Because they make an allusion to the point where they have been continuously killing each other all this time, and then coming back. There are a couple of lines in this movie, like one old guy says, "Yeah, we'll see who kills who this time."
Or when Peter says, this is how it works because I'm Peter Pan and he's Hook, and this is just always how it works. Nothing ever changes in Neverland. And it's like, okay, so is there a time loop type thing going on? Because that's kind of what the ending implies. But like, what, pourquoi movie? Pourquoi? Explain yourself.
It's kind of like because we're reading the book, they're living the story over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, almost like
And that
that.
would have been an interesting point
If
if
they
they
made
had
that point.
addressed it at all, like
Yeah,
ever.
I
Yeah.
know that's us coming to that conclusion. They don't put it in the movie
Like
at all.
I feel like I'm having to do more work to make this movie
Yeah.
make sense than the writers did, and that's never a good sign.
Yeah, and Rhaegar, I guess Richard did a review of this, and he says that there was character inconsistency, which yeah, of course, we're absolutely in agreement on that one. I'll tell you what, I didn't hate anybody here. You know, I liked Jim Gaffigan, me. I liked what's his name is Captain Hook. Wendy was fine.
Jude Law.
The Lost Boys. By the way, the Lost Boys leader is a kid with Down syndrome. Did you notice that? Did you know he had
I
Down
didn't
syndrome?
notice it when I first watched it, but having you said that
they didn't
kind of
get
makes sense of it, yeah.
full on where the guy has slurred speech and the face isn't 100%, but it's there. They have a leader who is a Down syndrome kid who shows up for a little bit to go, hi, I'm the Down syndrome kid leader, and then he disappears. He disappears. If you okay, you want woke, there you go. That's woke only because, not because the character's bad, because when he's on screen, he's fine. But the fact that I just thought about that. But the fact that they disappeared him makes that a virtue signal. A perfectly okay character played by a kid with Down syndrome who did a perfectly fine job. Freaking peers in the middle of it. I just thought of that. Wow, I'm talking myself out of this movie.
Well, that's the thing, and that's what I was kind of.
How about you?
That's what I was kind of leading to. Is it feels like this movie was made on autopilot. It literally seems like it exists just to like this Disney live action remake here. And once again, if you're like me and you remember the 2003 one that came out when we were kids, or when I was a kid, when Anglin would have been in his 20s, that one was better. Like the obligatory Disney live action remake of Peter Pan already exists and was better than this. This seems like the remake of the remake of the remake.
Well, it's kind of like them making
just sort of sad.
It's kind of like them making Cruella when they've got Glenn Close's Cruella already.
Although to be fair, Cruella was worlds better than this movie, I think. It was at least a more complete movie that didn't feel like it was being made on the cheap.
That I will give you. And I will also say that Cruella was its own film rather than a remake. It was its own movie. I'll give that much. But my point being, of course, is they've got a live action remake of 101 Dalmatians, but I'm pretty sure we're going to get another one with a sequel to Cruella. Derpy Entertainment is saying, my disappointment of the film is how old the original it is that it got the Disney Plus treatment. Yeah, I get it. Did anyone eat Peter Pan? Yes, constantly. I actually preferred that because I had Peter Pan on it. It's one of those stupid things, you know, like if they put a character on a box, man, I had to get it, right? But Peter Pan,
I ate almost nothing but Scooby-Doo macaroni and cheese. It was the only mac and cheese I would eat as a kid, was the Scooby-Doo shaped ones.
My two favorite movies of all time were Jungle Book and Peter Pan, the Walt Disney movies, when I was a little kid. Until Star Wars comes along, that blows everything. Yeah.
I remember watching Peter Pan a lot, especially at bedtime when I was a kid. I would fall asleep to Second Star to the Right so many times.
I think the song this movie was really missing was "What Makes the Red Man Red." I think if that were in here, I would definitely be giving this an A+ just for having the ball.
I was more shocked by the missingness of Second Star to the Right, because like they only vaguely mention even the Second Star to the Right thing. They have them for some reason go through the clock, and yes, I know it's because my time theme and everything, but that's exactly what I was saying earlier about the okay movie. Cool it with the on the nose just a little bit here.
Well, they put it in music beats. There are scenes where, like, when they burst through the clock, it goes dun 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 dun. Yeah, so it does play notes from it here and there, but they never have the actual music in it. Well, it's not Mulan, which, by the way, was trying to sell you on the music from the original movie all the way through.
Mhm.
Um, let's
But
see.
also, like the lullaby that Wendy's mother sings to her should have been Second Star to the Right. I was kind of annoyed that they were trying to make this new lullaby a thing when Second Star to the Right is literally sitting right there. But whatever.
Yeah, maybe the next Disney live action remake will be on the life and times of Walt Disney, and Walt will probably be a FTM.
Female to male trans
Oh,
person.
okay, okay, thank you.
There.
Um, yeah, okay. I don't do abbreviations. I'm horrible at them. Let's see. You haven't lived until you've eaten Fruity Pebbles while watching Flintstones while wearing Flintstones pajamas. I wish I could say that wasn't my childhood, but I
Yeah,
did. Yeah,
correct. I also did that
yeah.
sometimes when I was a kid. I watched a lot of Boomerang when I was a kid, and that had a lot of the classic cartoons
Maranya
on.
saying she preferred Peter Pan peanut butter because let's see, sadly it was taken off the market for a while because of problems at the factory. Darn. Second Star to the Right. Yeah, absolutely no on the first song. Not What Makes the Red Men Red. What was it, like a girl kissed an Indian and he got blushed and now he's all red.
Yeah.
I love it, man. Give me that. I want that original 1950s soundtrack. I love those songs anyway.
I like What Makes the Red Man Red, but there's still to this day nostalgia over Second Star to the Right. I can barely ever even hum it without slightly crying as a you know.
Derpy, how are you young, Derpy? I'm wondering. I want to know about that because like I've watched it my entire life, so I don't get offended by stuff I've watched my entire life. It's like okay, whatever. It's
Derby,
but then
how
again,
young are
when
you? Because I don't get offended by What Makes the
that's
Red
true,
Man Red, and
he's
I'm 27.
26, so y'all are about the same age. But the thing is when I was young, we used to make fun of each other all the time, and sometimes we would make fun of each other racially, and it would lead to nothing. It was just like, okay, we knew black people did this, we knew white people did that, we knew, and who fucking cared? Who
And I know
cares?
it's a
Nobody
cliche rant
cared.
at this point, but there was a time, I swear to God, where people were allowed to be proud of their stereotypes. Like the
Yeah,
Asian kid was allowed to be proud of being seen as smart or being seen as a kung fu badass or so on and so forth.
I
Like,
feel sorry for your generation. Y'all brought back racism. It's horrible. It was bad the first time. We ended it. Why are you
hashtag,
guys bringing it back?
hashtag not all, obviously, before
Hold on.
before you.
I said racism. You're never going to get rid of racists. But with us, if you were racist, you were kicked out of the you were kicked out of the sandbox for not being able to play with others. You were not allowed. You did not get a rose. Leave the
Yeah,
man.
I don't understand what the racial obsession with my
Yeah,
generation and the younger generation after mine is, because it's just like
you guys got all freaking
demographics
serious
don't
about it.
matter. Who the frick cares is my thing. Like, am I going to just randomly shun someone from the potential friend or potential associate pool just because they look different or act different or whatever?
Yes.
No, what the hell is that? I don't have that many friends to be that exclusionary. God damn it!
By the way, Rhaegar, you're absolutely right. But I do know who are the teachers, the Gen X and the Boomers. I do know some Gen X parents, being one myself, who were saying stuff. We're the ones that came up with a dumbass trophy for everyone, but some of us were trying to fight against it. Some of us. I remember talking to one dumbass girl. I forget her name. She worked with me at Cinemark movie theater. That I was a projectionist at, and she says, well, I'm going to buy my kids drugs because I know they're going to do them anyway, and I want to make sure they get good stuff. You have to be the dumbest person I've ever met. Don't have kids. Don't have freaking, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, that was what you guys grew up with. And on that part, yeah, I'm sorry for your parents. I'm not going to apologize for me because my kids are
My
fighting.
mom didn't do that. Although I will say she did kind of have a similar attitude with regards to beer. Like
Beer.
she wouldn't mind if my younger brother. I never drank just because, one, I never liked the taste of it, and two, I did make a promise to my great grandmother right before she died that I wouldn't drink until I was 21, and I kept that promise. God damn it!
Oh, okay.
But
My parents were the
that's neither here nor there. My mom was rather permissive though, and like I watched Beavis and Butthead as a 4-year-old under the auspices that she figured if I didn't make a big deal out of it, if I could handle it, then who cared, kind of thing.
yeah.
And
I actually
that sort of
showed.
does make sense.
I was playing Resident Evil and I blew up a couple of zombies, and I hear and it's Ashley, and I think she's like 3 or 4 at that point in time, and I thought, okay, I could either treat it like a big deal, but what I did was I showed her the making of a few movies, and she understood, okay, this is fake when I'm watching, because up until about 6 years old, kids have a hard time separating what's fake and what's real. To the point, she believed that George of the Jungle, Dudley Do-Right, and the guy in the Mummy were all brothers.
That's funny.
And I was like, wait, what? Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
I mean, as far as fan fictions go, I kind of like that theory.
Yeah, I thought that was cute as hell. My daughter was so smart that she understood that this was 5. This is 5, kids. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I was like, what do you mean this is? Oh, okay. I had to figure it out for a little bit.
Because it's the fifth digit on the hand. Yeah.
Before I taught her, pointer finger or anything like that, which who does? Does anybody still know what this is? Ring finger, right? But anyway, yeah, before I taught her what the fingers were, 1, 2, 3, 4, so.
Kids are a lot more intelligent than we give them credit for, and because they're not spoiled by all the norms and BS that adults will eventually program
By the
into
way,
them.
Ash
They can
is
think
bringing
outside
us
the
back
box like
around.
nobody business.
We've kind of gone off on the usual Englitine live stream tangent. Look, to discuss Peter Pan a little bit more, I enjoyed it. I had a good time with it. I agree with Dalton that it should have been more colorful. And I do think the characters were all over the place. I think it's still an entertaining film. And definitely, I think it could work if you cannot find the 2000, what was it, 2003, right?
I want to say it was 2003 because I know it was like borrowing the aesthetics of the Pirates movies, which came out in the 2000s.
The year 2003, in my opinion, is the perfect live action Peter Pan. And after that, show them Hook, because it looks, it'll work. Hook is meant to be watched after Peter Pan. Check that movie out. This one, it's not going to kill him. It's entertaining. I would probably give it a B-. I think
there are better versions of Peter Pan out there to show them, but this was disposably fine, I suppose.
B- is the lowest grade I give a movie while still recommending it. C+ is a film I like, but I'm not going to recommend it. I think B-. This is where I would put this film. Oh, that was your cue. There you go.
I think I'm going to be a little harsher than you and say C-.
C-. Wow, that's almost bad. That's almost actually a bad film.
Because like it again, it's just that there seems to have been so many cut corners, and as far as live action adaptations of Disney's Peter Pan goes, there's already a really great one from the 2000s. This movie didn't really need to exist even by live action remake standards.
Yeah, so, I know you're right. But once again, if they're going to do Cruella when they've got 101 Dalmatians.
Well, but I mean, Cruella works as a prequel almost. It's a villain origin story. So
yeah,
it's not even a 1-to-1 101 Dalmatians remake.
Let's see. Ash is agreeing with us. Hook is rad. I don't understand the hate it gets. I never did. I was a manager at the movie theater at the Florida Mall when it came out, and we watched it. We had a blast with it. It was a lot of fun.
The baseball subplot is a little silly and very, very 90s, but whatever. You get what you pay for.
I have news. I might be moving out of Brazil because my company contract is ended. Economy is in recession, and the government's command is incompetent. What's that like? you know, yeah.
What government isn't again?
Sorry to hear. It looks like you're losing your job there, dude. Hope everything works out for your families. D was bad. Only CGI was good. Let's see. It's just editing and out of pace for Derpy. I'm glad some people go see these movies, so I don't have to, says Ash. Dalton could have been cruel and given it an F. I would have called him out on that one. I think F is because
it's not. Believe me, there are F tier movies, but this is not one of them. There is something like someone somewhere is trying here. It's just I honestly don't think the crew behind this movie all sat down and tried to make sure everything fit together, and that's the problem. And I also think this movie was made on a shoestring budget within a shoestring budget, and that didn't help things either.
The way we grade things, F is degrees of horrible, D is degrees of bad, C is degrees of average, B is degrees of good, and A is degrees of excellent. By that I mean A minus, A plus, so forth and so on. F minus to me are the films I find morally reprehensive, which barely figure because
cuties cost.
And are films that I think are just so incompetently bad, I don't finish.
Films that are insults to the art of movie making, basically.
Yeah, if I'm watching, like last year, an F minus to me was Father of the Bride. It starred Andy Garcia, and it was about their divorce more than it was the young bride's relationship, or what it should have been was the father and the bride's relationship. It was horrible. It was incompetent. Medea had a family reunion that Gail likes Medea movies. So by extension, I'm forced to watch Medea movies I do not like.
My mom really likes Medea movies. I think they're cheesy, charming kind of thing.
Surprisingly enough, I do sometimes like movies that she doesn't like. I really enjoyed Medea's Halloween for some reason. But this one was god awful. Could not finish. I didn't make it 20 minutes without going, okay, I'm done. I'm out. I'm tapping. This year, I can't think of any movie I've dropped, but I refuse to go any further than 2 episodes into that 90s show. I tried. I'm done.
It doesn't even capture the spirit of the 90s. I know. I remember them. Seriously.
That was a horrible TV show. So yeah. Let's see. I'll give Dalton this. He's a straight shooter. Straight.
Everywhere but the bedroom.
Right. There you go. He goes, no, that was a gay joke. The dude was calling it like he sees it. Sure. We get it. Yes, it's worth more seeing than the Pinocchio remake. That movie sucked. I only watched Pinocchio to the end, so because I knew that Dalton and I were going to talk about it.
I'm telling you, the Robert Zemeckis one is not the worst Pinocchio that came out last year. That goes to the Russian dubbed Pauly Shore one.
But yeah, I'm not going to watch that shit. I'll just put it in the F minus. I don't need to watch that. By the way, I'm actually a Pauly Shore fan. I actually do like Jury Duty and In the Army Now and Son-in-Law, Encino Man.
It disturbs me how little his voice has changed in 30 years.
It's the Leaning Tower of Pisa. I'm still 63.
Right. Yeah, like you still sound like you're a college kid half going through puberty still. Please just take some testosterone to lower your voice or something. I don't know.
You know what? I was actually thinking about doing this at some point. Derpy's saying the Peter Pan film does the job. I like audience participation. And I was thinking, if you guys grade, if you go to our I Love Movies channel, and I'm redoing the channel because we're not allowed to grow at the other one, thanks to a claim that we got against what do they call those things?
Copyright strike.
No, it wasn't the copyright strike. The first one, because of the Time Magazine article. That was the first thing. That's what really caused the problem.
Yeah. The flagging.
Yeah, we told the truth about a Time Magazine article, and they kind of stumped us over there.
Where they themselves admitted to it and basically went, now give us moral praise because we did a good thing, damn it.
Yeah. Anywho, I'm making another movie. I've made another movie channel. I just can't figure out a way to link it to this, or we would be there already.
Uh-huh.
All right. How about a Peter Pan movie tier list? Wow. Okay, that would be something. Or a ranking.
There have been enough. We probably could do a tier
Yeah,
list of those.
probably could, because you got the Mary Martlin movie. I think it's Martlin.
Mm-hmm.
You have that, and then of course you have the Hook. I'm trying to think of what else. Sandy Duncan was in
Yeah,
a TV special movie.
you've got
There,
you've got the Hugh Jackman one that we spent more of this review dumping on than the other one.
yep. But there you go. Cartoon and Comics is reminding everybody to remember to like and share and subscribe. Go on over to I Love Movies or Movie Mojo. Both of those are ours. I'm gonna change the title of that because we're buried by what was that? What's that channel?
Watch
Watch
Mojo, and just
Mojo.
for the record, this is the
You warned
obligatory "I
me.
told you
You
so."
warned me. You warned me, and you were right. Yeah. So so make sure you go to those. I even got to figure out how to sign on to that channel again. Did you have to save Tinkerbell? Was it so bad, the movie? No, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. It was below average, or it was not bad, but below average to Dalton, and it was good enough for me to recommend, but not good enough to say it was great. These are the films I usually describe
see
as
the other
entertaining.
one. I'm sure the early 2000s one is on Disney Plus. I would have to physically go and look, but I'm pretty sure it's there. So just watch
Yeah,
that one instead.
we both agree that the 2003 Peter Pan is the best live action version. But yeah, what makes the red man red? Well, once again, the girl kissed him and he blushed, and boom. There's a TV movie with Tim Curry. I know there's one with oh goodness, what's his name? There's I got a fever, and the cure is cowbell. Freaking Christopher Walken.
Christopher Walken.
Mary Martin, mother of Larry Hagman, played Peter Pan back in the day. Thank you. And I mean, no one complained that a woman was playing a man boy's role when she was on stage. Actually, for the longest time, Bobby Driscoll in the 1950s Disney animated film was the first boy to play Peter Pan.
Yeah, Peter Pan is quite often played by women in the actual stage version.
That being said, I will bet you money, had they had a girl playing Peter Pan in this movie, everybody would have been up.
The usual suspects would have lost their minds, because that's what they do.
I can vouch for the Tim Curry and the Hugh Jackman one. Well, nobody can vouch for
No, you cannot vouch for the Hugh Jackman one. I revoke your right to.
If you tell me you think Pan is good, I'm calling it. I'm calling BS on it. Actually, that might be it. I always get those two guys mixed up. Oh yeah, the Christopher Walken. Yeah, Sandy Duncan was famous. Yeah, I think she was the first one I saw. I didn't see Mary Martin before I saw Sandy Duncan. And I was a 1970s kid, so Sandy Duncan was everywhere. Seriously, she's actually in one of my favorite Disney movies as a kid, and I watched it recently. It holds up. It's called Cat from Outer Space. It's just it is exactly what I look for when I go to Disney Plus. I like those movies where you can tell that all the sets are fake. The green screen or the rear screen projection is so horrible, and you can absolutely hear the ADR when they had to go in and redub their part. It just sounds like it's nowhere near. I love those movies.
I feel the same way about the direct to Disney Channel movies from when I was a kid, like 13th Year and Luck of the Irish and stuff like that. And I know I'm biased, but I swear to God, direct to Disney Channel movies have gotten worse, because Descendants is nowhere near as good as High School Musical was, and nor is the zombie movies that Disney Channel has been doing recently.
Sandy Duncan even met Scooby-Doo. Yeah, I love those old films. Give me what's his name? Hogan from Hogan's Heroes and Super Dad water skiing, but you could tell he's just on a set and people are splashing water at him a couple of times while
Yeah,
the green screen
it's some
shows a harbor behind
Adam
him.
West Batman levels of visual effects.
Yeah, they're awesome. I love those things, man. Me and my wife, by the way, were talking about we were talking about movies, and she brought up Don Knotts, and she was like, she goes, that was it. We started with John Ritter because we were talking about the Regal Beagle because we're going to a Regal movie theater, and I said, do you have any idea what the Regal Beagle is to Elizabeth? She's like, no. And then we started talking, and my wife goes, Don Knotts is so funny in that. And I went, Don Knotts is funny in everything.
I was going to say, is there a time when Don Knotts wasn't
I'm taking
funny?
a back at that statement, lady. Yeah, give me Ghost and Mr. Chicken. Give me The Incredible Mr. Limpet any day. Apple Dumpling Gang is on Disney Plus. I liked Peter Pan. Do yourself a favor. Go see Apple Dumpling. Put the Apple Dumpling Gang on. Yeah, it was fun. Sandy Duncan was in it back in the 70s, but it's been around since the 1950s. Yep. That was the black and white version was the Mary Martin version. Sandy Duncan is a My Little Pony. There you go. She's everywhere. Ash says, I don't really gravitate to the Peter Pan story. The original Disney animated was okay to me, and Hook is easily my favorite. None of the others have interested me, which, Ash, in the beginning, I actually made a point to mention. I have always loved the Peter Pan story, owned the book, read the book, owned the book. I think I've liked every iteration of the Peter Pan movies except for Pan, starring Hugh Jackman. But
see, that's the thing. I have nostalgia over the animated movie, and I've liked a lot of the iterations of the story, but I don't actually like the Peter Pan story itself because, in my opinion, unless it's done really, really well, it always comes off as cynical to adulthood and condescending to children, and I don't like that.
The whole point is that the lost children now, not the lost boys, but the lost children now, and discover that, yes, you have to grow up. And the pirates discover that, yes, it's okay to embrace those childish things. In this movie, like I said, I really like the way they handle that. And especially when you see the pirates kind of gushing over childish things because they want to remember and they want to be those children again. The Peter Pan story is about kind of mending the two together. Your sense of childish wonder and your sense of responsibility to become an adult.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. Now that I've told you, you don't have to watch the movie. You know.
That's the thing. I think as much as we all hate modernization, it would have been an interesting angle for them to do a Peter Pan movie where they talk about how, especially in this generation, the dividing line between adulthood and childhood is getting blurrier and blurrier and blurrier by the second. Like, it isn't this.
Did you say blurrier?
Blurrier, as in blur. It gets blurrier.
Blur. Okay, yeah, I couldn't.
Yeah, because like that was always something that I found weird in a lot of media from when I was a kid. In my generation, we treated adulthood like this instant, like this, state of almost nirvana where everything in your life changed all at once. And as I've grown up, I've noticed like there isn't this magical cutoff point where, between adulthood and childhood, like all those movies and stories would imply.
Hold on, I sent Rhaegar into a confused tizzy. Here you go. Let me let me help you out there, dude. The Apple Dumpling Gang is Don Knotts and Tim Conway. By the way, they are absolutely fantastic. Tim Conway, by the way, being one of the funniest people to ever grace TV and or movies. I am absolutely. I say that 100%. But it's a Western movie, and oh my gosh, I haven't seen it in a while, and now why is Plus spelled out? I'm like trying to find Disney Plus here. I wish I could show it. I wish we could do like a
watch party.
a watch party, but yeah, that didn't work out so well with the Oscars. So let's not try it.
Yeah, let's not ruin this channel too here.
Yeah. Ready. Do search. There we go. Alrighty, and here we go. Let me share this. I'm not actually sharing the movie or anything, just the screen.
Joe,
Go.
let me save you some time. There was an entire show whose gimmick was let's make both fictional and non-fictional characters meet Scooby-Doo in the 70s. So a lot of people around that era met Scooby-Doo. Phyllis Diller met Scooby-Doo, for God's sake.
This is the Apple Dumpling Gang. And of course, they got the sequel, Apple Dumpling Gang Rides Again. And I do recommend this. I know this started off as a Peter Pan thing, but hey, if I get to plug the Apple Dumpling Gang to people, the hilarity begins
we all remember when Batman met Scooby-Doo.
When a bachelor inherits 3 young orphans who stumble upon a huge gold nugget while everyone in town is after their claim, the kids join forces with 2 bumbling outlaws to stage a robbery to get it back. Here you go. This is my watch list. Do yourself a favor and just copy it. this is where the gold is in Disney Plus.
There's a lot of gold on Disney Plus, and you sure still can't claim that entirely because you have yet to watch Gargoyles.
I have not watched Gargoyles.
We're making a campaign to show an old man Gargoyles because he missed Gargoyles. And it's basically Disney's answer to the DC animated universe.
Don't forget Harvey. Oh yeah, you know what? It was Carol Burnett's birthday. It was her 90th birthday yesterday. I didn't know that because I don't pay attention to that shit. But somebody put that up. I retweeted saying anytime I hear somebody say women can't be funny, I always mention the names Lucille Ball and Carol Burnett.
I always found Phyllis Diller funny as well. Maybe that's just me.
Yeah, those 2 women, they hit my funny bone, man. They got me. The I Love Lucy TV show is one of my favorite of all time. Carol Burnett, her skit show is just funny as hell. Now, granted, she put herself next to Tim Conway and Harvey Korman, so it ain't my fault that I think that she is not the funniest thing on her own TV show. But you put Tim Conway and Harvey Korman together, and that's it. I'm done.
It's inevitable. It's just a fact of existence. But that's an event.
It is. I've seen the specials. I've seen the reunions. I've read the articles, and in all of them, Harvey Korman mentions that Tim Conway in rehearsal would play everything straight, and then he would throw in things during showtime just to get Harvey Korman to laugh. And it's all right. Good job, man. Good job. The big one was the elephant story when they were doing Mama's Family and such. Tim Conway's freaking brilliant. And he goes on and Mama was supposed to have a straight line in this. And instead Vicki Lawrence got mad because he was stepping over her lines. So she goes, well, I had a whole story until that jackass started talking, and that floored everybody. So yeah, great show, that one. Looks like I'll have to find a VH tape or pirate it. I don't think you're going to be disappointed. Women can't be funny, but there are exceptions to every rule, says Ash. Don't
women can be funny if they actually understand the human condition. That's I think the bigger problem. Yeah. There are so many women who never actually have to face the human condition, and therefore they don't have a point of reference with which to be funny.
Okay, so we are almost to the hour part of our 25-minute review of Peter Pan and Wendy on Disney Plus.
It wasn't my fault this time.
I know. You know what? Everybody showed up. We started talking movies. We're a movie channel. We're also live streaming to I Love Comics, which I will make a bet that's where our big part of the audience is anyway.
Yeah,
I'm also for the first time putting this on the Disney Channel, which I haven't done anything with Disney. What do you do with a Disney Channel when you've lost all faith and hope in Disney? I guess
unfortunately I think you spiral into screw Disney rants.
Well, I think the best thing I could do for my channel is probably just cover the stories, the DeSantis versus Disney shit, you know?
Yeah, that's a big one, certainly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you go. Anywho, guys, we're going to call an end to this. Once again, we're 54 minutes. To sum up, I thought it was a B- movie. It's the lowest grade I give while still recommending because I do think it's entertaining. I agree with Dalton. 2003, that's the movie to check out if you want Peter Pan or the 1950s animated movie. Once again, B- for me. Dalton?
I said C- just because I thought there were too many cut corners. And
Okay.
also, like Angwinteen said, there's already one that exists and it's better. And go see that one instead.
There you go. So thank you very much for hanging out with us on this, as it was said, surprise stream. And as always, thank you very, very much for watching. Have a good night.
Cheers, guys.
All righty. Fun